All right, a much requested video. David, sir, what the hell happened to Tesla stock? We're going to do something a little bit different today, which is talk about the precipitous decline of Tesla stock, the electric vehicle automaker. In 2020, in much of 2021, Tesla was the hottest thing going. In the last year, it's down 70%, with much of that decline happening in the last few months. So we're going to talk about the price increase and why it's now performing poorly with a number of disclaimers. Number one, I don't even really recommend investing in individual stocks. I consider it a form of gambling. You all know in my asset allocation, I'm overwhelmingly in ultra low cost index funds with a little bit of money in individual stocks, which I consider very speculative. Number two, I became a Tesla investor in 2015. It was a chunk of that portion of the portfolio dedicated to individual stocks. I saw gains between 1,200 and 2,200%. I sold at different points. I've sold 90% of my Tesla stock. I'm keeping a tiny amount sort of as a joke or as a curiosity, but I have sold almost all of my position in Tesla. Now, back when I got into it, the stock was worth a split adjusted $15 a share. And was trading at a split adjusted $15 per share. And I invested in it qualitatively. I didn't look at the cash flow analysis of Tesla and make decisions in that way. I looked at it and I said, okay, early mover electric car company run by someone, Elon Musk, with a pretty good track record. He was much less controversial and off-putting than he is now. And if you look at electric vehicles, this is the only one that you can really go anywhere with because of the range. This is huge. It's a first mover advantage. Tesla's going to do well. So I bought the stock. Stock made slow, steady gains. After the 2020 COVID crash, the stock exploded. And in March of 2020, Tesla stock was worth a split adjusted $28 a share. By the end of 2020, it was $235 a share, and it reached a peak of $407 a share in November of 2020. I sold some of my position a couple of years ago when I thought Elon Musk was going to have real issues because of the smoking pot with Rogan thing and the board and everything. I sold some of it then, but the bulk I sold in like September, October, November, December, I think it was mostly November of 2022. So there was this crazy run up, and there were several reasons why it happened. For one, the Fed cut interest rates to essentially zero in order to spur demand in the economy and get people to spend. That type of environment is ideal for a future-oriented growth company like Tesla. So we would call low interest rate environment. They also got added to the S&P 500. And added the Model Y compact SUV. So S&P 500, Model Y, Model Y. The Shanghai facility was getting going, and that was a really big deal. What else was going on at the time? Emission credit sales, so people could get essentially, it's a government subsidy on the price of vehicles. But this really doesn't go far enough to explain why Tesla went like 14x over that 2-year period. Much of the run-up was because retail took an interest in the stock. People became fans of Elon Musk. Crypto was hot, and Tesla had Bitcoin, was accepting Bitcoin. Elon Musk was pushing Dogecoin. Investors got caught up in the hype cycle, and it kept running up. And at its peak, Tesla had a market cap of over $1 trillion. Toyota had a market cap of only $250 billion. Ford had a market cap of $100 billion. GM, $100 billion. So the valuation of Tesla based on the stock price was more than all of those car companies combined plus others. This is at a time when they were not actually producing anywhere near the number of cars that Toyota, Ford, or GM were producing. Now, some said, well, that's okay. It's a technology company. You've got to evaluate it differently. Okay, that's an argument that was certainly made. They've got software, they've got data, they've got batteries, they're working on other tech, so it should be priced differently. But even so, the stock was priced essentially for a perfect future business scenario, baking in that it would maintain its growth rate and become bigger and bigger as market share goes. Unfortunately, sometimes when things go up really quick, they can come down quickly. And that's what happened in 2022. The Fed committed to raising rates to combat inflation. Bad news for growth stocks and tech stocks. And we saw that Meta dropped, PayPal, others that had similar big drops in 2022. The big thing for me that caused me to start selling was, as a Tesla driver, the build quality isn't awesome. Tesla hasn't been building vehicles that long. Audi, Toyota, these companies are much better at building cars. And they're catching up in terms of range, and the charging network is starting to catch up. Tesla's big advantage was first mover advantage with the long range for the vehicles. In 6 months, there already are many competitors, but within 6 months, there will be even more competitors in terms of range to Tesla, built by companies much more experienced at building cars. That, for me, was the really big reason that I started to get out of my Tesla position. And then also Elon Musk is very distracted. He's selling stock and he's buying Twitter and he's running Twitter and he's becoming political and he's saying vote Republican, and progressives are getting turned off from wanting to buy Teslas. So I believe that Tesla also is hurting its universe of potential buyers. And all of these things together led to Tesla dropping and may continue to see the exact same thing. Am I predicting Tesla will go down further? No, I don't really make predictions like that. I mean, certainly I'm making them personally to the extent that I buy or sell a stock, but I really do consider it to be gambling. So luckily, I sold 90% of my Tesla stock, some of it as it hit highs, because it made up too much of my portfolio, some of it off of its highs, but still at a very nice profit. That is what happened to Tesla. There are people who insist you're going to regret it, David. You're going to wish you bought more. No, it's possible that I might have made money buying more if we look out many years, but I made enough on it. I'm not greedy. I made enough on the Tesla stock. I moved the money over into low-cost index funds. I'm perfectly happy. But it certainly has been a wild ride.